So there is a rule where I come from that you don't crush people when they're down. Now, this Apple advert that came out today, what a magnificent effort. I mean, you could not have stoked the beast if you had tried any harder. 23 minutes past 1, I'm in my studio, the hour is late, and I thought I would just react to some of this chaos, this maelstrom, furore that has been evoked like an epic tsunami from Apple's new advert for the rather thin iPad Pro. So, my name's Jim, I'm a musician, photographer, filmmaker, living in Berlin for the last 20 years, and I thought I would just have a little look at the comments on Twitter, see how artists are feeling, because there's just been such a strong and powerful and righteous reaction to this Apple advert. It's a rather strange advert. I mean, it's like, how the hell did you come up with this advert, man? I mean, seriously. All right, so as soon as I thought it, I was like, man, this is the Terminator, you know, that thing, and it's the T-800, and it's climbing, crawling through this terrible hydraulic press, and it's coming down. Sarah Connor's running away. She can't get away from this damn hungry machine. And it's like, Apple, it's like, I don't know if the reference is for everything to be dystopian, tapping into our deepest fears and psychic nightmares. But they did a rather good job. So what happens in the advert? Well, you've got this huge hydraulic press, and it is just coming down. It's like, well, think of something that you love. Think of all the things that you most cherish in the world, whether it's a musical instrument, paintbrushes, computers, any type of instrument, ear, gadget, anything that's basically analog that you could create everything with. And what Apple decided to do was to take the Terminator press and to just get it coming down, and you just see all of these wonderful things being slowly broken. And it is the most perfect evocation of everything that you feel as an artist over the last 20 years. Finally, the rest of the world is catching up with actually what to the musicians and journalists have gone through over the last 20 years with the advent of technology, as so much of your potential income has just been absolutely obliterated and wiped out. So anyway, let's have a look at how Twitter has been reacting. So Tim Cook writes, "Meet the new iPad Pro, the thinnest product we've ever created, the most advanced display we've ever produced with the incredible power of the M4 chip. Just imagine all the things it'll be used to create." Let's have a look at this ad. I want to react to this ad. It's a minute long. So we start off, the vinyl comes on, everything's good, we're rock and rolling, the lights come up. The filmmakers must have loved this. So I'm a filmmaker, I would have said yes, 100%. Okay, trumpet, first thing getting crushed, take out the trumpet. See you later, Miles Davis. It's a nice analog arcade machine. Oh, and the paint's going, and it's, well, first of all, it's flooding the piano. Oh, there goes the piano, all of your trees, Rashmaninov. Oh, the metronome, well, you know, who needs time anyway with all of these modern gadgets? Oh, they're squashing Sophocles or whoever the hell it is. Oh, I can't even keep up the ladybirds. Oh, there's a little lemming, little thing moving up. Oh, your camera glass is coming down. It's getting through more paintball. Little yellow creatures with their eyes. They genuinely pulled out its eyes. They crushed its eyes, and then everything is destroyed. I mean, why would you kill those little, beautiful, wonderful toys? It's just, dude, that is absolutely priceless. Okay, so Mr. Tim Cook, the first thing I got to say is that if I'd been offered that gig, I'd have been all over it. I mean, like, yes, Mr. Cook, no problem, I'll do it for free just because that is a laugh. But it's the representation that people are having a problem with. It's been viewed 54 million times on Twitter. This is from Joe Natoli. "I asked this as a loyal Apple customer since the late 80s. What the hell is wrong with you? This was extremely painful to watch every single second. I really cannot get my head around how you or anyone thought this was wise and not incredibly disrespectful and dismissive to every artist, designer, musician, and creative person of any kind." Wow, Joe's really going in there strong. It's how am I looking at this? It's very easy to think of Apple as being the enemy. Apple aren't the enemy. Are they the enemy? What do you think? I mean, do you love Apple? Are you using Apples? Come on. I'm showing you this on an iPhone, which incidentally, I dropped from outside my office from about 30 meters up. I nearly went over myself. And it managed to survive. It's an iPhone 11. It's still going. So a robust bit of equipment, ladies and gentlemen, of that. There can be no doubt. Right. Okay. So are Apple the enemy? Or do we want them to be the enemy? I don't think the point is actually about the stuff being destroyed. I think it's about what it represents. So we're going to go into that in a minute. Let's just go on to the next one. Ewan Morris. Tim, your advert has offended so many artists around the world who see the beautiful objects of their trade, history, being destroyed. You've really misjudged who your market is. I won't be buying Apple again. Pull the ad and issue an apology. Like Apple, give up. It's like, come on. Next, from Lulu Cheng Aserve. I don't want God. I don't want poetry. I don't want real danger. I don't want freedom. I don't want goodness. I don't want sin. I want comfort. And then she points out, that is the target audience for this ad. Yeah, this is an interesting idea. It's like the idea that everything's being sanitized. When did you forget that we're in this universe and we're in the world and you can actually say something about something at some stage? And why the hell does it have to be so perfect anyway? I mean, dude, come on. It's the rawness. You know, what I like about this for Raw is that people want to react. I think people are craving real stuff. They're craving reality. It's like this sanitized stuff. AI is something we need to talk about. It's this sense that everything is over and over and over and getting easier and easier and easier. And I think the thing that Lulu is pointing out very, very beautifully is that it's all about this sense of comfort. For us creators out there, I'm glad to see people reacting like this because it's like in defense of the analog. It's in defense of tactility, of traces, of stuff that you can see. And there's so many amazing artists putting this stuff out there. And I think that the outcry is about the fact threatening the reality of the arts, the things that we actually react to, you know, the fiber in the painting, the fabric of the cloth, the sound of the music as the air moves and it touches your ears when you go to a concert. I mean, what about you guys? You're going to concerts again? It's like, you know, it took a hell of a time for stuff to pick up. Anyway, next. Oh, this is from Sean Davis. If you brag about your desire to stamp out human creativity and initiative, you're probably a psychopath or a demon, or maybe, in your case, both. I love it. I mean, Sean, might be a bit of projection there, but I'm not saying that you're a psychopath or a demon. I mean, old Tim Cook, really a psychopath or a demon. You know, I came into music just at the point as Napster was flying off. It was like one of the great downturns in musical history. And it's like, you know, every single second has been a disaster. Now, we can have the fight about the impact of technology. But, you know, I remember what one of the Buddhists said. It's like, it is. It is. With some stuff, yes, you fight and you revolt, and that's an important part of the arts. Then there's the other part where it's like, it is. Kind of capacity to be in the world and react against it, to fight for what you believe in. But then on the other hand, to have this capacity to recognize that we are living in this multi-dimensional world where everything is happening in synchrony all at the same time. This marvelous, fantastic synergy. And what do? You have to find a viewpoint that stretches across the abyss. You have to find that capacity to be in two places at the same time, to fight, to rebel, to say it's not right, and then to have that capacity to have the acquiescence, and it is, and the rest of it. So as the music industry dissolved and broke down, to be fair to Apple, you know, putting up the App Store, that of course it was benefiting Apple, but it was actually one way that actually money could be earned again from music. And in terms of like just the fact that all the record companies were shutting down with the advent of the internet, which was a disaster for music. Now, what compensated for it was the fact that Apple actually started releasing these home computers where musicians could go and you could start recording and you could start making your own stuff. And, a lot of the wonderful stuff that you see out there is from musicians literally in their studios like this, ladies and gentlemen, causing fire late into the night in Berlin at 1:36 in the morning, as we do every night. Mr. Tim Cook's probably getting it up an hour. Tim, this one is from Tagasuki. Your predecessors showed us their dreams. You showed us our nightmares. Let's explore this nightmare for a moment. I think that the problem people have with this is actually not about everything that's being destroyed. It's what is it representing in the archetypal subconscious. And what it is that the conversation of the moment is AI. It's like at some stage we woke up and it's like, how the hell did that happen? We are living in the future. All of those science fiction dreams that we thought about in the 80s, suddenly it's like it's already happened. It wasn't meant to happen. How the hell did it happen? What's going on? It's absolutely eye-poppingly bonkers in this world where suddenly in the last few weeks, you can literally create a song that sounds just like Frank Sinatra with a full band in the click of a button. It's like, who is ever going to go to a recording studio again? The fear is that everything is going to be replaced. I was speaking to a friend just the other day. She's Brazilian, and she was saying that her mum's a translator. And it's like that. All her work is gone. There's this real effect. Let me know if you're struggling with your jobs or if your jobs are gone. How are you feeling about this, guys? And it's like the real world impact is happening. Now, musicians are pretty battle hardened. We thought we got through the worst of it, but now it's like it just suddenly happens. Okay, I've got a contrarian viewpoint about this because it's like, well, there are different ways that we survive. So my kind of thing is like, okay, maybe there's an opportunity for musicians because the thing is, it's like, yeah, okay, everything becomes a click of a button. It becomes so easy. And yet, if you're willing to show your process, if you're willing to show the traces, the marks, the sound, the voice, the pain, the hunger, the life, the yearning, the desire, the viewpoint, the idea, the rebellion, the feeling, the magic, the mayhem, the viewpoint, and the vision to create something, there is a potential there for you. What are you digging into? Who do you want to be? What do you want to express? Are you willing to rise above the moment? Because you know what? The reason people are reacting to this is because they don't want a one-click world. They want to be moved, and they know that there has to be that human spirit behind something that's going to move them. They're not just going to be moved by old Frankie boy being produced in the click of a button. No. People, they know that behind a great melody, a great feeling, there is a whole world behind it. Now look, no problem. If AI comes up with a song that sounds as beautiful as yesterday, I'll enjoy that. That's absolutely fantastic. But the point is that the legislators of the world, the AI machines will never replace the dreams of the people. Capacity of the human spirit that needs to feel something, that needs to architect its way, to create a scaffold in the void, in the abyss, and work out what the is going on here with this absurdity of existence. It's like, how did it happen? We formed out of the nothingness, man. It's like, it's what? It's a miracle. And people are scared of AI, and quite right, because it's an inevitability that we're going to evolve from this state and merge with the machines or be replaced by the machines, because the thing is, whether you like it or not, in a couple of billion years, the sun will turn into a red dwarf. Is it a red dwarf? Whatever the hell it is. And it's going to burn up everything. So we gotta get out into the galaxy, man. So, no, joking aside, or am I joking? The point is that at this point, the reality is like the ground is being shaken. It's not just shaken, it's like you're falling through. And what Apple did here is that they completely misread the moment. They are so out of touch with the zeitgeist that it is beyond laughable. In fact, I think that's why I'm just finding it such a comedy, because it's like when you get into the realm of complete and utter absurdity, what are you going to do but laugh. When you truly see the horror of existence, it's like, you either just curl up in a ball or you start laughing. The point is that people are seeing Tim Cook as the psychopath, as the psycho, as the demon, because that's what he is or who he is. It's nothing to do with that. The psycho that they're seeing is the representation of everything that is going to be taken away. The fact that we feel like we're going to be replaced. What it represents is that everything that we can do will no longer need to be done because the machines are going to do it. So what are we going to be rendered as? Well, just these blobs that don't have to work because there's nothing to struggle for. And it sounds like a nice idea, but we know that human beings, we need intent. We evolved out of chasing stuff and trying to survive. We're not perfect creatures. In fact, we can be very terrible creatures. That's our beauty. It's our sin. It's our miracle. It's our potential. And it's our darkness. But the point is that if everything is just made so easy by the machines, from whether it's the creation of cars or it's the translation of a book or it's the creation of a song, it's like, well, if everything's rendered completely not needed, everything becomes devoid of meaning, because even if you have more time to put in your creativity, well, you can't compete with this instantaneous world of AI where a book can be created in 1 second. And I think this ad has tapped into the fact that people they don't know where they stand. They don't know the moment they're in. We're all trying to process it. And this is the interesting thing about Twitter is you have, or Threads or whatever it is, or social media, you have this manifestation of the human psyche. Because it's not just about one of these comments. It's just about trying to gather a picture of how people are feeling and reacting. And people are scared. People are frightened. People are sad. And of course, there's opportunity out there, but the arts represent the dreams of the people. The arts have always been what we turn to when we feel uncertain, when we feel that we don't know where we are, and we're not looking for something reasonable or logical to attempt to make sense through some type of clever thinking or enlightenment thinking. We go to the arts because it makes sense by not ramming sense down our throats. And we need that. And it's like, are you going to take that away from us as well? Well, how do you react to it? You react in the spirit of rebellion. And I'm not talking about naff rebellion. I'm talking about ownership of your own spirit and your own life, about tackling these things as best you can and in the ways that you can. And it feels at the moment that people feel really fragmented and really anxious. And I can certainly understand that as someone in the arts. It's like, it's always been a struggle. It's like, it's nothing new. Perhaps those of us in the arts, we're already prepared for the doomsday because we've already had to get used to working out how to survive through various different manifestations of doomsday. And this is just the next type of Armageddon that we'll have to go through. Whether you see AI as a potential salvation of the human race and its potential and the excitement of that, whatever happens, we're still human beings in our broken, confused, beautiful way. That's like, what are we going to do with that? Where's that going to go? I think that the reaction to the ads is that human beings are worth it, that people love the life that we have, and we have a terror that we are in a moment of supreme replacement, and that is terrifying when you really stop to think about it. Something that's won by Per Anders really says exactly what we think. Is this intentionally a metaphor for the damage to the things of value to humanity wrought by tech bros and Gen AI for profit and greed? If so, bravo! Fits perfectly in the 1984 world. That's the point. It's like technology is the great Faustian destroyer and dominator of the modern age. So it really taps into something that Marshall Berman said about this Faustian capacity of big business to destroy and to overturn the reality and the lives of normal people. And he has this wonderful quote: "To be modern is to find ourselves in an environment that promises adventure, power, joy, growth, transformation of ourselves and the world, and at the same time that threatens to destroy everything we have, everything we know, everything we are." And this is the thing that Per Anders is saying very, very succinctly about the fact that the tech bros, they don't really care about the impact of AI. I mean, I know Sam Altman does a good job going out and making the mission first and foremost and the rest of it. The point is, the human being chases the curiosity and chases the buck first. Now, it's in our nature. You know, it's a bit like the story of the scorpion and the frog, and the scorpion hops onto the back and the frog says, "Hey, buddy, we take me across the river." And the frog's like, "Yeah, absolutely no problem whatsoever." And they're going halfway across and everything's cool and dandy, and the scorpion just stings him like this. And he's like, and they're both going down. They get into the afterlife. And the frog was like, "Dude, why did you sting me? I was giving you a damn lift." And the scorpion just like looks over and he goes, "Well, it was in my nature." And this is the thing about the human animal. We cannot help ourselves. We've unlocked the genie. We have unlocked Pandora's box with AI. Everything that we never thought could be is coming to be. It's very interesting, the reference points. The reference points come from the arts. It comes from George Orwell, 1984. It comes from the Terminator movie. It's like the darkest possibility in the human psyche, as dreamed by the artists years and years and years ago. They could all see it coming. And it's coming, and it's coming for you, and we don't know where it goes. And we all know about human nature. We have an attraction to destruction and to the dystopian. Yes, there's beauty and there's potential with it, but when the genie comes out, what is going to happen? You know it, and I know it. There's only one way that this goes, and Mad Max is at the helm, and he has got the bit between his teeth, and he's going to war with the psychos. None of that metaphor makes sense, but what the hell? Nothing makes sense anymore anyway. Serena Brown writes, "This describes your mindset in a nutshell. Horrible." Now, it's very interesting. You know, what is the mindset of Apple, of Tim Cook, of all the people going in to Apple Park? I mean, it's like, you think about it in California, which seems to become the most dystopian place on earth when you just think of the terrible, terrible homelessness. And then, you know, I was looking at the price of rent. It's like $4,210 per month. So the mindset of Apple, I mean, like, you think of the trillions and the amount of excessive money that's being generated. I have no problem with capitalism. I love Apple products. No qualms here. When Serena's talking about the mindset, it's like, how can you be tapped into the mindset of the world where companies like this in California have raised up the rent prices to such a degree that no one except from the fattest cats in Silicon Valley can afford to pay for 1 square meter. So you have all of this terrible homelessness and this huge suffering, and that is the dystopia. It's like Fritz Lang's Metropolis, another movie which perfectly described the situation, this dystopian nightmare where you have this complete disparity. So the thing is, when Serena's asking about the mindset, well, how can the mindset have any idea of what the people are going through? It has been the chief thing that has created the dystopia in the first place. So it's like, they're a sense of the other. And it's very interesting looking at the comments that are talking about the nature of dystopia, the state of the disconnect, the incapacity to feel that which the other is feeling. And the paradox is that what does technology do? It removes the space between people, because you don't need to leave your house. You don't need to leave your apartment. You can be connected to all the world and yet to nothing at all. Where is the human connection nowadays? So many people are being completely just vanquished inside by this terrible endemic of loneliness. And that's before you even start thinking about the homelessness. That's before you start thinking of all the terrible loss of jobs there's going to be through AI. So what one of the last tweets saying, it's like the tech bros and the AI gurus or whatever he said, it's like, well, it's very real concerns. Maybe there really does need to be a different type of accountability from these behemoths that are radicalizing society in every stage and every year more and more and more. And it's like, well, people don't have a voice anymore. Their life has become transformed beyond our capacity to see. And it's like, with the advent of AI, people are just going, no, I'm not sure I can buy into this. I don't know if I can go into it or with it. You know, it's like Berman's quote, everything solid is melted into air and it threatens to destroy everything we have, everything that we know, everything we are. Where does it go? People are feeling afraid. And I think the thing that people are really asking, it's like, okay, with this technology, what is its impact on our lives? And it's like, how come there is never any responsibility taken by the tech companies? Occasionally get awkwardly roasted by Congress, none of whom seem to have any grip or understanding of what actually is going on before stuff has happened. I mean, like, come on. Well, the politicians, get ahead of it, man. That's your job. What are you doing all day except insulting one another? I mean, it's pathetic. And the thing is, people are just thinking, where is the responsibility being taken for the actual effects upon civilization and upon our psychologies and on our children and on our capacity to feel, and what is really going on? And I feel like this advert is raising very serious questions, and we need to keep on talking about this stuff. And it's great to see everyone reacting on Twitter, because it's like, unless people speak up and comment and create these movements, these evocations of the feeling that represent how we feel and what the greater consciousness is thinking, then nothing will change. And it's so contrary to what humans think that we should ever put the brakes on anything. With rampant capitalism, I'm not anti-capitalist, but with rampant capitalism, it's always like, let's just keep on going until the next disaster and then figure it out afterwards. And it's like, well, with AI and with this sort of potential fear that people have of their jobs, of their artistry, of their capacity to make a living, of even the species itself, at what point does the great unknowable become something worth pausing and talking about and actually really thinking through? And it's like, who is taking responsibility and where? The people are trying to, but the people aren't enough. You know, this needs to be happening at the top levels of government. The problem is, everyone's lost their faith. So we need to have a really big think about this. Anyway, as for me, I'm going to get back to my rock and roll. Very glad that there's not a massive hydraulic press in here coming down to crush me up. But the power of the arts is that we won't let it crush us, brothers and sisters. That is the whole point. Stay strong. Keep believing. There's good stuff out there. And have a beautiful day. I'm Jim Croft. If you'd like to take a moment to subscribe, you'd be most welcome. We can talk about creativity and art and madness and how we deal with the bonkers, barking, error and chaos and anarchy of this modern world.